Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today I'm going to talk about 3 surprising changes in the perimenopause and menopause. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. So there's a lot of symptoms that are not surprising. We know they're really common, such as flushes and sweats and muscle aches and pains and digestive issues and poor sleep. But there are quite a few surprising ones. So every now and again, I like to do a little combination of a few more that seem to have come up and what people are asking about. So today we've got 3 more, and I'm going to talk about what happens and what you can do to help yourself. So number 1 is a voice change. So this is quite an interesting one. So very often what happens is that falling estrogen actually affects the elasticity and the moisture of our vocal cords and the muscles that surround the vocal cords. So what can happen here is that your voice can become quieter and weaker, and there's a smaller range. So you might find, if you're a local singer, if you sing a lot in a choir or a singing group, you might find it more difficult to hit certain notes. It can also cause fatigue of the vocal cord. So that just basically means that you can't talk for as long as what you used to do beforehand. And if you lose moisture, you can become much hoarser. So you might find that if you're doing talks like myself, you can't go as long without having to take a drink or having to just take a little bit of a rest. The other thing that can happen too is that depending on your testosterone balance, for some women, the progesterone and estrogen fall and testosterone stays a bit high, you might find that your voice goes a little bit deeper too. So as I say, this is quite an interesting one. So what to do with this one? You need to watch your diet. So things like, have a good varied diet that's high in things like vitamin A, vitamin C and vitamin E. So that's things like your nuts and seeds, your leafy greens. Loads of water, because remember, it's the dryness that's going on. And it's quite interesting too. They seem to have found a link with vaginal dryness and changes in your vocal cords as well. Very often these happen together. So loads of water, sea buckthorn oil supplement as well, which can be really, really helpful. Avoid caffeine and alcohol because they can really interfere with your hydration as well. You can also be more prone to gastric reflux, and gastric reflux can sometimes come right up and hit the back of the throat. So that might affect your voice as well. So if it's more to do with that, the gastric reflux affecting your voice, first of all, always double check this with your doctor. But you may also find calming stomach remedies like the herb centurium can be helpful. And the other thing is to avoid spicy foods, which can irritate the throat, and sort of fatty, greasy foods as well. And just be aware too, for some reason, if your throat gets drier, you can become more prone to sinus infection. So again, there can be a little bit of a link here as well. So number 2 is breast changes. This can be quite a distressing one. If you've had nicely shaped breasts and suddenly they are changing, so the tissue, the size and the shape of the breast can change. So you might find that they shrink, you go down a few sizes, they might start to sag a little bit, so you might need more kind of uplifting bras. For some women, depending on the hormonal changes, and this is one, it's really difficult to sort because it nearly always is hormonal linked. But for some women, depending on the way their hormones change, they might find that their breasts become much bigger and much heavier. Obviously, any kind of sudden breast changes, please, please, please don't hesitate to get this checked out by your doctor first. Other things that may be helpful, dehydration can affect breast tissue. So again, just make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Some people find an evening primrose oil can be helpful. The other thing, obviously, and I've talked about this before, are you wearing the right size bra? Because many of us are not. So it's really important, if your breasts start to change and you get all clear from your doctor, then go to one of the maybe department stores, get your bra size checked properly, because a decent, properly fitting bra can make a huge amount of difference, especially if your breasts get that little bit smaller. So yes, remember the water definitely with that one. Number 3 is losing hair in some places and gaining it in other places. So really, really common. You might find that your hair gets thinner, you start losing more of it. You might find that it gets very fragile, it breaks, you get split ends quite a lot. So that's nearly always just to do with your estrogen falling. But you may also find that if you're losing your eyebrows and eyelashes, that is a really classic symptom of underactive thyroid. So that hair loss there, get that one checked by your doctor. Ask them just to get your thyroid checked, because a lot of the other remedies for normal hair loss are not going to help with this particular one. You may also find that you're losing hair under your arms. It's great if you don't have to shave anymore. Same with your legs. You might find that you lose the hair on your legs. Pubic hair can often decrease quite dramatically as well. But you sometimes find you get the big hair on the chin. You might get more nasal hair. Some women find that they get, it's like a line of hair right down the front of the abdomen. Or you may find you start to grow a few hairs around your nipples as well. Hair around the nipples, again, I would just get that one checked out first of all, although it's really, really common. So this one here, in order to keep your hair healthy, just remember all these hormonal changes, all these physical changes require lots of good nutrition. If you're not getting enough protein, if you're not getting enough things like calcium and zinc, then your body is going to use what you give it to keep it stable, and your hair, your nails and your skin are going to be the first things to suffer. So it's a really good clue. If your hair quality is decreasing, then you very often need to uptake your good nutrition. You can get special hair supplements from your local health food shop and some pharmacies. They're combined with all the good nutrients that are needed for healthy hair growth. So it's quite a good one to take as a prevention, as well as if something happens. If you think you're not getting enough protein, I would add in a plant-based protein powder and just have that as a drink once a day, and that will give you lots of goodies to help with your hair. So I hope you found these ones very helpful. They do seem to be quite common at the minute. So if you are suffering from a strange symptom and you wonder whether it's linked to the menopause or not, don't hesitate to write in or email in, and you never know, we might actually be talking about your particular issue. And until then, I will see you next week, and take care.